Hello, everyone. This is Mark Busich of Hudson County View. Thanks for joining me on this Thursday afternoon broadcast. Many different segments that we need to discuss today. Some of the stories were coming out of the county. The first story has to do with that we'll be discussing the first segment when we get back from commercial break. Has to do with the controversy still swirling around Liberty State Park. Governor Phil Murphy just the other day signed off on a $7.7 billion budget extension, but many different politicians within the county and throughout the state actually have been critical of Governor Murphy for allowing a loophole within that budget that could potentially allow for private development within state parks, including Liberty State Park. Some of the other stories we'll be getting to has to do with still related or concerned in Jersey City. Has to do with Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop hosting a press conference just yesterday where he announced that up to almost 70 municipal buildings in Jersey City will have face recognition and temperature scanners. He said that the city hired a private vendor to install these scanners because he said it's necessary to keep both the public and city employees safe during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, how can we not discuss what seems to be a heated race that's been heating up between incumbent Albio Series and his challenger Hector Asaguera. And we'll be getting to that story. Our colleagues Corey McDonald and John Hines conducted a lengthy interview with the challenger. So we'll be getting to that particular story. And also we'll weigh in on the different elected officials throughout the state, including the congressional representation and local elected officials who have joined in making sure that they show their support for the incumbent Albio Series. So those are just some of the stories that we'll be getting to on this Thursday afternoon, July 2nd. So thanks for joining us, and we'll be right back after this commercial break. Thanks.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Hello, everyone. Again, thanks for joining us on this July 2nd, Thursday edition of Hudson County View Live and Uncut. I'm Mark Busich, bringing to you the most important stories that we reported on this past week in Hudson County. As I said from the start of the broadcast, we like to talk about the ongoing controversy at Liberty State Park. Now, Governor Phil Murphy signed off on a $7.7 billion budget, a three-month extension, $7.7 billion budget. And while it was mostly praised by elected officials and the public. Nonetheless, some elected officials had some issues with some of the loopholes, or at least one particular loophole that seemed to make its way into the 3-month extension budget, which has to do with the possible privatization, or at least partial privatization opportunities that might be given to vendors to develop within state parks, such as Liberty State Park. Now, as we've reported extensively on this issue, the billionaire Reebok founder, the sneaker company Reebok founder, Paul Fireman, some are saying that he was very influential in lobbying the governor's office and making sure that this loophole made it into the budget that would allow him, in this specific example, at Liberty State Park, to expand his Liberty National Golf Course into the Caven Point section of the Liberty State Park. Now, we just want to read to you a section of the amendment. It's an 111-page amendment that made its way into the budget. And just to give you some of the language, before we go to the video clip of getting Jersey City Mayor Stephen Phillips' reaction to the governor's action to include this loophole, we just want to read the amendment, which was the state. I'll just read this to you quickly. This is, again, in the 111-page amendment that will allow private vendors to seek private development within state parks. On or before September 1, 2020, the Department of Environmental Protection shall issue a solicitation to engage the private for-profit and even nonprofit sector in reducing maintenance and capital investment backlog and environmental remediation at state parks in order to facilitate enhanced cultural, recreational, and local economic opportunities for New Jersey residents. So that's the wording in the amendment, which seems to indicate that it'll provide some economic benefits to New Jersey residents should these private vendors get opportunities to provide certain types of maintenance tasks and to fulfill some backlog orders as well within state parks. So our chief news correspondent John Hines was in Jersey City yesterday, where he, on another issue that we'll be discussing as well, related to the facial recognition scanners, temperature and face mask scanners. But John Hines had the opportunity to ask Stephen Phillip about his reaction to the governor's loophole in the budget. So let's get the mayor's reaction right now.
I've expressed on social media and in the public that I'm disappointed in the governor. I mean, we communicated yesterday morning. He was aware that this was in the bill. We expressed the importance of line item vetoing this particular line and still moving the budget forward. And he proceeded to sign it nevertheless, which is compromising 40 years of advocacy from the community and governors prior to protect Liberty State Park. So it's really disappointing. Look, I do not blame Paul Fireman. Paul Fireman is trying to further Paul Fireman's interests. I happen to disagree with Paul Fireman's interests, but he's not the one to blame. The public officials that are elected are the ones responsible for protecting the public. And when they sign something like this, it's extremely counterproductive and counter to the public's interest. So I'm disappointed with the governor, and he needs to fix this measure really quickly, because I don't know what the recourse is, but I'm sure at the state government there are levers to correct it.
So the governor's office said something along the lines of that the intention of the bill was not to develop LSP. Your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think anybody who's been involved in this issue for the last 2-3 years knows that's not true. This was put in to further the privatization of Liberty State Park. I think that's commonly accepted, and if the governor is represented otherwise, it's just not true, right? So the reality is that he needs to fix it. He was aware of it, and he proceeded to sign it, and that's just unacceptable.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Hello, everyone. Again, Mark Busnich on this Thursday afternoon, the latest installment of Hudson County View Live and Uncut. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're watching us on this live stream feed, which is also broadcasting on Facebook as well. So hopefully you're there watching too. But the next segment we need to get to has to do with the press conference that Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop called yesterday in regards to approximately 70 buildings, that is 70 municipal buildings, including the municipal court building, the Parks Department, as well as City Hall, where a local vendor was recently hired to install scanners that will detect those who are entering and at least entering the building, their temperature, and to detect whether or not they're wearing their face mask properly. Now, according to the mayor, about 1,000 people, given about 1,000 people a day, and walking in and out of certain buildings within the Jersey City municipal buildings, and they're interacting with hundreds of city employees. So they feel that it was necessary during this COVID, obviously as a pandemic, which the latest news, as we've been hearing from locally, for example, indoor dining options might not longer be feasible at this point, at least in the near term. They were supposed to, it seemed to be an option at least for just a couple of weeks ago, but because of the increase of COVID-19 cases in not just, well, here in the New York City and the New Jersey City metropolitan areas, but across the country as well. So we have some video. Our chief news correspondent, John Hines, was at the press conference yesterday, and we have video clip of the Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop explaining the need for these scanners. Now, they each cost about $1,800 a piece, and the mayor explained the reason why the city decided to hire this local vendor to install these scanners. So let's go to that video clip, and if we have enough time after the video, we'll come back and discuss it further. Here's the video.
Normal temperature. Normal temperature. Please wear a mask.
And if you do have a temperature over 100.4, the alarm will go off also besides lighting the grid.
One of the big changes is going to be how we treat visitors to City Hall and municipal buildings, police stations, firehouses, to protect the public and also to protect our employees. And we've also put procedures and policies in place regarding what happens if somebody from a municipal employee standpoint tests positive and how we're going to deal with them going forward in order to make sure that the rest of the workforce is safeguarded.
On a daily basis, you have approximately 1,000 people, plus almost 150, 175 employees here. And our main concern is that we provide a safe environment for folks to visit and also for work here. So we did our research. This system provided two things. It provided affordability and also the immediacy was met by having the systems available for immediate deployment.
With this program, we've been able to take a look and support our staff. While we've been taking temperatures as early as April, this is making it a lot easier and allowing those staff that have been taking temperatures to move back into other roles to keep staff safe. And we want to make sure that all of the public are able to come into buildings when they have appointments. At 100.3 fever or above, we will not be able to get access internally. We'll ask you to go home and monitor your own temperature. We'll give you some information if after 3 days you're still having a fever or fever-like symptoms to ensure that you have all the access possible to get tested.
There was some concerns expressed about people that there might be some sort of facial recognition or data storage component. Is there any legitimate concern there?
We're not data storing any of this stuff, so I know that people are concerned over that, but this is really to protect the public and protect the city, and we're not looking to do any sort of facial recognition data storage or use it in any other way other than what we have conveyed with regards to testing somebody's temperature and what they're making sure they're wearing a mask.
Hello again, everyone. Mark Busich. Hopefully you enjoyed that last video clip. You heard John Hines ask the mayor whether or not these scanners could potentially be used for any facial recognition or data storage capabilities, but the mayor was quick to say that that's not the purpose of why the scanners are going to or will be used for. Instead, they're to protect the public as well as employees. So again, he was stressing the public safety measures that these scanners will be providing. Again, being installed. You heard also from different elected city officials, including Greg Kearse, who's the director of Jersey City Office of Emergency Management and the Homeland Security Director. And you also heard from Stacey Flanagan, who's the Director of Health and Human Services. So again, hopefully you enjoyed that segment. When we get back, we're going to be talking about an upcoming election. That's right, a heated primary race happening between, as things have developed within the past week, they seem to be heating up a little bit more given the number of elected officials who have come out in support of the incumbent Albio series. So when we get back from a commercial break, we'll be discussing about that particular race and the challenger, Hector Asaguera. Thanks for participating. We'll be right back.
Pinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hello, everyone. Again, Mark Busich. As I stated right before the last commercial break, we have an election primary race to discuss, and that concerns incumbent Albio series, the U.S. Congressman for the 8th District representing Hudson County, who's up till now seemed to be the clear choice, but because his challenger, Hector Asaguera, has been making some inroads. There's been no official polling release just yet, but he on social media he's been gaining more in popularity, and as a result of that, numerous elected officials throughout the state, including Governor Phil Murphy and Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver, have come out in support of Albio series, also including the New Jersey Congressional Senator Representatives Cory Booker and Bob Menendez, and even on a local level. In fact, the Hoboken City Council, just including Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bala and the Hoboken City Council, all came out in support to endorse Albio series for his re-election, which he is seeking his 9th term. He's been serving in the Congress since 2006. Now, and also just recently, Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop and Hudson County Executive Director just released a video. Tom DeGise, I should say, just released a video also issuing and announcing their support for the re-election of Albio series. So Albio series, he was very much in the news recently with Bob Menendez because he plays an important role in the U.S. House of Representatives Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and the committee, or at least the congressional representatives from New Jersey, senator and congressman, were able to secure over $100 million for the Portal Bridge. That's the rail bridge over the Hackensack River, which is heavily used by both New Jersey Transit and Amtrak. And they just secured about $100 million in funding. And Albio series is, again, a member of the House Transportation Infrastructure committee, infrastructure committee representative, that is. So we like to, but Hector Asaguera had written a story that was produced by our colleagues Corey McDonald and John Hines. Had an opportunity to catch up with Mr. Asaguera to find out about why he's running and what he thinks his chances are. And they had an opportunity to interview him yesterday on video. And he said it was important for him, even if he wins or loses, nonetheless, it was still important to raise the issues that he believes are most important to Hudson County residents. So let's go to that video clip right now, and we'll be right back.
The power of the grassroots is one, and speaking to the voters is another one. Because if you are there on the issues, if you're there on things that matter most to the people, and you have a strong presence on the ground, I think that that goes a much longer way than the traditional metrics of, well, how much do they have in the bank and how long have they been in office. The media sort of has this bias that money wins and incumbents win. So incumbents with money win. And so nothing fits into that paradigm that would make somebody say oh, well, an incumbent with a lot of money can lose. That people think that if I were to win, that it would be shocking or an upset. It wouldn't be shocking or an upset to any of the people that live around here who haven't seen my opponent in 14 years. When it comes to endorsement, one-to-one, I still have a lot more endorsements than he does, and I would hold up my endorsements up against his because the endorsements that he's gotten are comfortable endorsements. Nobody has come out to support him that people were shocked or surprised about. I think that he expects other people to win this race for him, and he doesn't understand. People come and endorse me because they say, wow, Hector, you're running such a great race. You are really taking it to the people. You're really talking about the issues. You have a platform and a vision that I can believe in. I don't know why people endorse my opponent. Other than the fact that, well, we're all in this club, and so we got to endorse somebody in the club as well. So two main attacks that they've leveled on me. So Sierrez is not sure if I'm either a far left-wing radical or a secret Republican, right? So he doesn't know which one I am, and he doesn't have a clear message on that. Either I'm a fringe left-winger, AOC Bernie Sanders, and I should appeal to the moderates, or I'm a secret Republican, right? He doesn't know what he wants to say on that point. I've never been a member of the Republican Party ever once in my life. I've never done anything that could be even considered remotely part of the Republican Party. My friends and family that saw that attack just laughed. For some, especially knowing the people that I've debated with, when I was in high school, I used to get into debates all the time with the more conservative people. I have members in my family that are Trump supporters that completely laughed at the notion that I could have ever been a member of the Republican Party. So, poor research on their part, a very desperate attack. The second one, that I have Trump donors giving me money, right? Perhaps a smarter politician might say, wow, this guy has appeal to both sides of the aisle. Maybe we should be worried because he has not only the appeal to the more progressive side of the party, but actually could pull in some moderates. Had my opponent's PR team done a better job, they might have noticed that this donor donated to such right-wing radicals as Chuck Schumer, as Andrew Cuomo, as Bill de Blasio, and also recently donated to my opponent's endorser, Cory Booker. All things that they could have found out with a very simple... He can say his voting record is good because he votes for safe things. He's not a fighter for any issues. The only laws that he's introduced that have made it to legislation were laws to rename post offices. My opponent's greatest legislative accomplishment in 14 years is renaming a post office. His idea of leadership is I'm signing on to the work that other people are doing. He's not a strong progressive in any sense of the word. He is a very right-wing Democrat. My opponent has never met a foreign intervention he didn't like. He voted for austerity back in the Obama years. There is no way on this earth my opponent can credibly call himself a progressive. And so if it comes to the policy by policy, my opponent won't even say the words, the Green New Deal, until Nancy Pelosi gives him permission to. There's a Medicare for All bill in Congress that he has, he loves jumping onto other people's work. He can't sign onto the Medicare for All bill by from Melajayapal, which I do support.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
You know those times when you need to see the doctor, but you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away. From any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are.
Quality care, no appointment necessary. The doctor is online when you download the Telemed app.
Don't you feel better already?
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Hello again, everyone. Mark Busnich, thanks again for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed that very informative interview with Hector Asaguera, who's running against incumbent Albio Series to represent the 8th Congressional District, representing residents in Hudson County. And, you know, Mr. Asaguera has received, you heard him talk about some of the, as far as some of the endorsements that, or at least regarding that he responded to the accusation that he was, that he registered as a Republican at one time with the Republican Party. But Mr. Asaguera is running a pretty robust social media campaign. In fact, we had a chance to film him during the early part of June, when all the George Floyd protests were really at their apex in the New York, New Jersey area, as well as around the country. And he was wearing a shirt during the rally that marched from James Braddock Park in North Bergen all the way to the Camille, or to 32nd Street rather, along on Bergen Line Avenue. And he was wearing a shirt that said, "We are the squad," which was interesting because obviously he was showing, even though he's been criticized as being a former member or registered with the Republican Party, the shirt "We are the squad" is in reference to the 4 left-leaning congressional representatives who are Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts, and of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And in fact, Mr. Asaguera has picked up the endorsement of the political organization founded by Bernie Sanders in the wake of the 2016 presidential election, Our Revolution, which again is a left-leaning political organization, which is calling for major government intervention in the economy, such as Medicare for All and the expansion of initiatives that would rein in greenhouse gases, a climate change policy that would rein in greenhouse gases, reducing them to net zero within a decade. Pretty bold and aggressive push by the Our Revolution political organization. But for our last segment, we just have maybe just about a minute left. We just want to show a video clip that was taken at the club in Jersey City, which you could see nobody there, the factory, I should say, on Communiport Avenue, I should say. You could see from the short video clip that nobody there is wearing a mask, and the chief municipal prosecutor is saying that they maybe should be penalized because obviously with all the calls now that are now being, all the calls for, or rather the rollback of indoor dining options. Now there was a possibility that there would be indoor dining maybe just a week ago, or at least a week and a half ago. There was such progress being made within New Jersey, which we saw with the opening of outdoor dining, the opening of beaches, and even state parks. But now that, because COVID-19 cases are starting to rise in the state and throughout the country, well, there seems to be a rollback of the indoor dining options. And again, that raised some concerns from elected officials about the lack of face masks at the factory on Communiport Avenue. So again, we want to thank everyone who joined us on this recent installment of Hudson County View Live and Uncut. We'll be coming back to you live again next week. I'm Mark Busnich. Thanks for joining us.